So I know we haven't done a show in a while. I apologize for that, but some of you guys know I'm actually chilling with Tim Pool. I'm at his spot right now, actually recording this video. Going to be hanging out. If you haven't seen the previous episode that we did over at Timcast, be sure you go follow his all of his YouTube pages, and you can see some clips. You can also see, of course, the whole deal over at Tim IRL. But there's a couple of things I wanted to discuss today that I would have been discussing on the show had I actually done the show. But I did get a couple of messages about some things that some folks wanted me to kind of discuss. Obviously, this news broke not too long ago that this stay-at-home order for California, and it was extended yet again. It says COVID-19 overloaded hospitals. I'm reading this from the Los Angeles Times. Strict limitations on businesses and activities will remain in place throughout Southern California for the foreseeable future as COVID-19 patients continue to flood the region's healthcare system. Wow, not unexpected. Tuesday's extension of the regional stay-at-home order for both Southern California and San Joaquin Valley underscores the state's precarious pandemic position. California on Monday, again, which is today, at least the day that I shot the video, recorded its highest number of new coronavirus infections in a single day, with around almost 67,000 is what it is. Now, though that tally included a backlog from the long Christmas weekend, during which many counties did not issue reports, officials have said they expect the coming weeks there will be another surge. So delayed information coming in, and then they make a decision based upon that delayed information. Of course, that sounds just like what the government would do. And new infections stemming from gatherings and travel over the winter holidays. Any significant spikes in coronavirus cases, experts warn, will invariably trigger a corresponding increase in the number of people needing to be hospitalized 2 to 3 weeks later. Hospitals statewide are already caring for more than 20,000 coronavirus positive patients, the greatest number since the pandemic began. This is going to be something coming from Los County Supervisor Hilda Solis, and it said on Tuesday. So actually, it was not Monday. It was Tuesday. Today is not Monday. I'm tripping. Let you know how off I am. But if we are to get through this, the gatherings must stop, and strict precautions must be followed by businesses that have been allowed to remain open. This dire situation, one that we avoided up until now, and frankly, one that we know was preventable because we prevented it before. See, this is where a lot of them, of course, they lose me, but I'm going to speak on that here in a little bit. Just want to give you guys some more information. Basically, what happened, the state defined Southern California and San Joaquin Valley regions. They've been under a stay-at-home order since December 6th, and it's a total of 23 counties combined. That includes Los Angeles County, Orange, Riverside, San Diego. And basically, they're going to be looking, well, from there, this is what's going to happen. They're going to extend the stay-at-home order. Looks like Southern California, San Joaquin Valley hit their 3-week minimum Monday. However, both regions have languished at 0% availability in their ICUs for more than a week, which is also an interesting thing in how they say that, because we haven't really heard any stories upon people that, let's say, needed the service when it came to hospital care going without it. It's just been this, and most of it's been coming from California, this big time dramatization of this event in which the hospitals are basically full, and they keep throwing this 0% number out there. Now, I was looking at those numbers the other day. Now, what they actually entail is going to be a very interesting thing if you actually look into detail, because like I said, there's not really cases going on in which people in California, Southern California in particular, actually need the hospital services, whether they're sick from COVID-19, of course, and they don't get it. That's not what we've been dealing with. However, of course, they're going to dramatize that because they want to say, see, I told you so. But here's the interesting thing. You remember early on in the pandemic, we talked about California, and the public and the media, more so certainly the mainstream ones, would talk about it as if it was an actual success. And then what I take issue with, as I mentioned before, with the supervisor chick, a public health official, I'm guessing, in which she says basically this could have been prevented because they prevented it before. And I don't think that means what she thinks it means. I think what's happened, when you consider how this country is built, how that state is built, and how, movement and so forth, what you're doing is prolonging the inevitable, right? That's what's happening. You're prolonging the inevitable. And it's funny because you remember that the Faucis of the world would argue with like Rand Paul, and it turned out that Fauci seemed to move the goalposts and change his position on herd immunity when Rand Paul was talking about early on. See, the reality of the situation is that in a lot of instances, a lot of us, considering how infectious that they claim this is, are going to get this virus one way or another. Now, will all of us get sick from it? Probably not. Factually, no, most of you will not. Some people will be dealing with this roughly, and they will have to go to the hospital. That's just an inevitable thing that's going to happen. However, to act as if they could just prevent nature, as if we have no immune system, that's been the ignorant approach to this entire pandemic since really March and April, where they thought that they could just suppress it and then it would just die out and never go away. That was not going to happen. That was never on the table, no matter how much they pretended that was the case. It was an inevitable thing. This is why some of the epidemiologists that had been, let's say, ostracized, that were saying, like, look, the worst things that you possibly could have done was shut down schools. The worst thing that you could have done was not allow the healthy population to spread it around, because we would have gotten over the hump a lot earlier. And you should have isolated the sick and the vulnerable and let all the more so healthy people be the ones running around and spreading this around. And that sounded cruel to them because of this dramatization, but that's what we've been dealing with over the course of certainly human history, modern history. What we've been doing is very, very unique when it comes to the country and really the international response to COVID, in which they have, a lot of them have overreacted. Let's just call it what it is. And they have acted as if human beings have no immune system. We all are the same. This virus doesn't have a particular type of demographic that it is more likely to kill or severely hurt, injure, hospitalize. But that's not, unfortunately, what they did. And when you shut people down for as long as you have, I mean, of course, it's only so much that you can do. So if people are having a little underground parties or underground bars or whatever there is trying to do to make money, look, that's what they're going to do. The issue was that you prolonged this particular issue. You did. And you didn't want to hear it when people would say, like, that's what's going to have to happen. You played this whole, if it saves one life type of thing, damn your business, damn your life savings, damn all of that. If it saves one life, it's worth shutting down. And now what do we have again? Another side that has had mask mandates. This is a big one when it comes to California. Mask mandates that have been that have always existed for the most part, for a very long time out there at least. Lockdowns, multiple lockdowns. And then when the lockdowns are supposedly let go of the lockdowns, they're still under a quasi lockdown because of all of the restrictions. So you have all of these rules and stuff in place, and they just don't work. They don't work. What they said was supposed to happen didn't happen. There's so many instances. I've covered them. Showed all the data, all the charts, where you have implementation of lockdowns and implementations of these mask mandates, and what they said was supposed to happen, in which the cases, which is all they care about now anyway, was supposed to decrease. It didn't decrease. It increased, actually. And what do they say when it doesn't work? Well, you guys are not listening to us. And then they try to hold you hostage, your business hostage, your livelihood. All of that gets held hostage because they say, look, guys, if you're not listening to us, then we have to continue to do these measures that have not worked in terms of slowing this spread or stopping this all together, as if they pretended that was the case or ever going to be a thing that could happen. Look, people, I know that a lot of folks out of there in California are struggling. You got a bunch of inept leaders, government officials who don't understand why people are leaving out of there in droves, not wanting to have their businesses there anymore, not wanting to deal with this bull crap. There you have it right there. I understand the whole fear of, okay, well, these people need services and you want to make sure that they have services. I completely I don't think anybody would disagree with that idea. Where we disagree is how do we handle it and what is the worthwhile trade-off? Is it worth it to derail thousands? You talk about California restaurants and all of that, thousands upon thousands of businesses that are shut down permanently and they're not getting on the other side. So this is what they're dealing with. And instead of saying, okay, you guys have to be responsible adults, you should have been doing everything that you can to prepare the hospitals. If it meant, like you do out here. Well, I'm not here in Houston right now. I'm not in Texas right now. But, they're in Houston, in Texas. They have kind of these setups where the ICU beds are more so, they're interchangeable. Like it's more of a thing like that where they have the beds and they're available, and if they need to convert other beds to whatever, then they can do that. They already operated at high capacity anyway. I'm not that knowledgeable on California. Definitely considering what time of the year it is, if that's something that they deal with high capacity when it comes to the ICU, I'd imagine, anywhere for the most part. Otherwise, hospitals will be broke if they didn't. But the can got kicked down the road. Some of y'all were like hoping this, and that. And it just pains me because I know a lot of y'all are struggling. But most importantly, you have leaders, you have leftists who just can't come to terms with this idea that their measures, their things that they want to implement, the mandates, the orders, are not effective in what it is that they say in terms of what they're supposed to do, and they're not effective. And they won't come to terms with that. They won't admit it, so they double down on it. And then they kick it down the road yet again. And they say it's your fault. See, you didn't listen to us. And if you did, then this wouldn't have been a case. No, it's just that what you do doesn't work. And the inevitable thing was that a lot of us are going to have to face this virus. This is why I was saying the gym shutdown was an absolute crime. Not just because locking people down and, the business owners of the gyms, that's not necessarily just what I'm saying. I'm also, though that is a thing, I'm also referring to the fact that this is a prime time to get in shape, take care of your body. There are some things that I understand. You guys got diseases. Some of that stuff is not in your control. A lot of it is. And now's the time to do that. And if you did that, we probably will be dealing with less, let's say, a significant impact when it comes to this. Obviously, before COVID hit, but who could have predicted that? But if anything, it should have taught you this concept of self-ownership, taking care of your body, so you can get on the other side of this. So just be healthy and be ready to handle things that may come your way. But they don't even encourage that. The state doesn't even encourage that. They just say shut it down. You have a business, we don't care. That's what they say. And here we are. Everything that they said was supposed to happen, if they did what it is that they didn't happen. And then they still have the nerve to blame you.